Sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Back here, first things first, now joined by friend of the show and Rockets general manager, Daryl Morey.
All right, we'll do one of these, Daryl. I understand you're doing a lot of traveling, trying to stay healthy.
MIT conference coming
Absolutely.
up. So.
I'll just wave. It's nice to see you. I'm even more precautious. Look, Kevin, this is Daryl.
Yeah, we did
a little thing earlier. We got to start asking about last night. You were at the game. Nick was at the game. We now know why the Rockets keep losing when he's at the game.
You guys have lost 5 in a row that I've been at.
We're just trying to help Leon out. He's got to get up.
Yeah, big win start. First win.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah,
you guys are so generous.
Yeah, I know. That's what we're here for.
Listen, the narrative is...
Oh, let me guess.
Okay,
you
go
can't
ahead.
Rebound or something.
Well, something to the effect of small ball, whether it's working or not. You were out-rebounded last night, by 31. But you're the general manager of the team.
Well, so I find that interesting. For some reason, there are acceptable ways to lose, and there are unacceptable ways to lose. So apparently, being out-rebounded is an unacceptable
way.
We can go 9-2 or whatever since Capella, but we get out-rebounded 1 game.
So last night didn't bother you as much?
I mean, yeah, it bothered me. We lost to a team we should never lose to, and so that bothered me. But
why do you think you lost?
Well, we definitely got out-rebounded. I mean, like, that's not I mean, so that's true. But my point is, like, on any given night, a team will lose because they take bad shots. They turn it over too much, sometimes out-rebounded. But good thing is we're giving people a lot to talk about. And,
we led the show with you guys, Daryl.
Okay. I unfortunately didn't catch it.
That's okay.
But I would say, you know, there are certain ways that people just viscerally don't love to lose. They don't love to look smaller and be out-rebounded. They don't like to be beasted in the post, those kinds of things. But if a team out-transitions you, you take open shots but miss them and lose that way, no one's talking. You guys aren't talking about it today. So
let's go to the Capella trade, because, and I'll say this for you, you won't say it. This is one of the many instances where Daryl Morey does something. The entire basketball media says, the hell is this guy thinking? And then the instant results are, oh, maybe there was a method to the madness. When Capella was traded, people instantly said, do you guys not know you don't have it? Have you measured the players on the team? Your thought process when you decide to trade away a guy, I know at times you've been high on. You gave him a contract, you found him, you drafted him, you developed him. The thought process going into that, the pros and the cons that you knew would go along with it.
Yeah, so the biggest reason for the trade was to get Covington. And he's actually been even better than we thought. We thought it'd be great. As you mentioned, he was at the Rockets first, and we sort of knew what we were getting. But he's developed and gotten way better. So the main focus was get Covington. And the reason for that is not only how good he is, but how much he helps, we think, everyone on the team, but in particular Russell Westbrook. The driving lanes for him, we think, are super important. And in fact, he hasn't played with this spacing before, and it unlocks, basically, we think, the best Russell, and allows him to do what you even saw last night. I mean, he almost came back, and we dug ourselves a hole, and he almost brought us back by himself. So
I have a question about Russ. Was that the plan all along for Russ, or is this something that you saw Russ say, oh, how can I create a situation that makes Russ even better than MVP Russ?
I love that you asked that. So generally when we make moves, especially when you're talking about your big foundational players, like your superstars, even your top 5 rotation, we always make moves. You want to make a move where you're into a stable place. So we actually thought it would work with Capella, and it was working with Capella. It just wasn't working good enough to win the championship, we thought. So once we saw how that worked or didn't work, then we said, okay, we've got to make another move, and we feel like we're stable here. Now, if for whatever happens, teams counter, teams in the league are smart, yeah, maybe they will figure out how to make it hard for us as we play smaller. Maybe in the playoffs this will happen. But now we have actually, the trade also gave us a lot of flexibility to add players into the future as well. It wasn't just a sort of a one-year move.
This clearly worked with Russ. I mean, something was unlocked in him, and it's really taken off. Give me behind the scenes. How does it work? Do you sit down with him and have a conversation and say, look, we're going to make a couple moves. The goal here is to open up lanes for you, not have to shoot as much, focus on getting to the basket. Is that something that happens organically, or do you sit down with him and say, this is our vision? Do you see yourself working with that?
Yeah, so we love working in close harmony with our superstars. That's why people love playing in Houston. Besides, it's a great city and a long winning tradition.
And you're there, obviously.
Well, we have a great team of people, and you said nice things too, but we have a really good team of people over time, and superstars in the league understand that we're a good place to come, and part of it's because we see us as in partnership with them. I would say with James, there's more conversations. He likes to get involved in that. Russ just loves to play. So there wasn't a whole lot of conversation with Russell. He gets basketball, and he just wants to go out there and kill people. And I think you see it on the court.
Saw it last night.
Yeah, and he trusts what Coach D'Antoni is doing. He trusts what we're doing. James does too, but James likes to have more conversations. And whatever, we basically work with our stars as much or as little as they want to be involved.
I want to stay on Russ. 2 points. One is last night, I thought he really hurt himself early in that first quarter.
I was concerned.
So that's what I was going to. So we can talk about it now because we know he didn't. In the moment you're sitting there because of his reaction. Someone bumps him. I didn't see exactly how it happened, but I saw him call timeout. I saw him then slam a chair, and I'm like, oh, Russ knows he just really hurt his knee. In that moment for you, when you have seen, unfortunately, a star player in a critical moment for you pull up and you say, oh, well, everything I built, okay, let's see how it goes. What is going through your mind in those 2 minutes where he's working out on the sideline? He ended up being fine, but is your whole season like flashing before your eyes like, okay, this is great, this is great?
Yes. I mean, so when it happened, I saw it happen live. I was in a suite, and I literally just watched every single movement just to try and read the tea leaves. Because, yeah, I mean, it's fragile. I mean, injuries are a huge part of this game, and you got to have not only players playing at their peak, but all healthy to win the title. I think we saw that with Golden State last year. Even one of the greatest teams ever assembled finally had too many injuries to take them down. And so, and then he started, it looked like he was moving well. And, you know, frankly, we won't know completely how things are until the next day. Often you don't really know. But our staff was very positive after the game, and so was Russell.
So one follow-up on Russ, because you said you guys don't have conversations with him. I find this...
No, I do. It's just,
no, I know, but not to the same level. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Listen, the knock on Russ, and I'm as big of a Russ fan before he was a Rocket, as a Rocket as anybody out there, because I admire his intensity. I admire guys like Kevin Garnett, who if you put on the film, you cannot tell. Is this Game 7 of a playoff series, or is this a random March day against the Knicks? You can't tell. The knock on him, though, was he didn't have the greatest shot selection. And when he was in OKC, he took a lot of threes that he probably shouldn't be taking. His first month with you guys, he's taken 5 a game. His second month with you guys, he's taken 4 a game. Since January 1, he's at 2 3-point attempts a game. Is that you guys shoot more threes than anyone? He shoots fewer threes than he's ever done in his career. How does that happen?
Well, again, I think he's smart. He sees the floor open. So we don't have a lot of conversations with Russ on how he should play, because he's a guy who plays with passion and energy, and you can't not love it, honestly. Like when he was in Oklahoma City, I hated him. I'll be frank. Like, he played with such a passion, and he would win games just off his energy alone. And here it's the same thing. Coach D'Antoni is not out there saying like, do this, do that. He wants to set up the environment to take Russ's skills, which are really unique in NBA history, with his strength and speed and power. He might be the most athletic player in the league still at age 31, which is really crazy and unheard of. Maybe the guy you really like is
Zion's up there too. Yeah.
Well, but he's young. Yeah. I'm talking about older.
You mean older guys? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm saying among older guys. And we didn't have a lot of the time. We just said, look, we're going to put players around you. You go do your thing, Russ. And I think if you start prescribing or proscribing what you do, you take away a lot what makes Russ great, which is his unbelievable will to win and energy.
The most fun part about this small ball lineup from a media person perspective is that it's just confusing to form a narrative around it. That you go off.
You guys are so good at that.
No, but it's just fun. But it's fun. You rip off a bunch of wins, and then you lose to the Knicks and get out-rebounded by a historic differential. And then you have lost to the Suns, and it's a weird game. So you have these weird games, and people are like, I don't like it. Actually, the Celtics games, I do like it. So it's confusing. How should the media talk about the small ball lineup and what you're doing?
You should just talk about how good we are overall, and we've played really good. And unfortunately, so we have the best record in the league, along with the Bucks, against good teams. We have beaten the Lakers on the road. We've beaten pretty much every good team. We only lost to the Bucks by 1, and the reality is, but we're not where the Bucks are. We're not on pace for 70 wins. So what does that mean? All year we've been losing to bad teams.
So that's what's confusing.
Well, I think so the advantage we have is we have a team of guys all over the age of 30. We're the oldest team in the league. The only thing they haven't accomplished is win the title, right? That's the good thing. So they're very focused in big games. I think maybe one of those things that's negative is on nights when they're playing one of the bad teams, it's a little bit hard when you're over 30 to say, I'm going to get up for this game when I know it's just a Monday night regular season game against a team, you know, in the lottery. And so, again, I don't want that to be an excuse. We're frustrated by it, but the reality is I think that's what goes on.
And you could tell last night they thought they were going to down 19 with 2 minutes left in the third quarter, and they were like, we're still got it. And you guys came this close. Like it was, if the 19-point deficit was a 15-point deficit, you guys win the game. You know what I mean? They had it in them to come back. It was just
in a 2-point game. Like, it just means it was random who won, basically.
I want to ask you about Harden and Giannis and that little verbal beef we had, but would you stick around and give us one more segment?
For you.
And Daryl's going to also fix basketball for us.
Oh, perfect.
Both of those things.
Well, 2 of equal importance.
Coming up.
Much more first things first right after this.